Hi everyone. I just want to hop on here real quick, and just leave kind of a little side note. And there are going to be many more of these to come on this channel. Something that these lawyers do, okay, when they have decided which parent, when they have decided that they are going to commit this crime and traffic these children, and they have decided which parent they are going to traffic the child from, and obviously the other parent will be who the child will, and that's never, children should never, ever be used as a rope in a tug of, stop dehumanizing our children, please. Please, they're human beings. They're not tools, they're not pawns, nothing for you to play with. They're people. They're not statistics, they're people. Jana, Leilani, and Teresa, I hope that you're listening. Jonathan Brown, Tuesday, not even close to a Dr. Smith. I also hope you're listening, okay? Because you're all involved here. One of the things that these individuals do when they've decided to commit this crime is something that in psychology we call moving the goalpost, okay? And a lot of you will recognize this in your own abusive relationships, whether you have been in an abusive relationship before or you are in one right now. But what that means is, instead of, first of all, there's always going to be a problem when conflict, in conflict mediation, when you have one side against the other side rather than both sides against the issue. That's how you resolve conflict. That's how you maintain fairness. Do you understand? I hope so. That seems very rudimentary, but the lawyers, I don't know. Good thing they're pretty, right? Anywho, so moving the goalposts, and I'm going to tell you how it was done to me. Throughout all of this custody stuff, through every hearing, first of all, every hearing I would find out new information that hadn't been told before, usually about myself, which was bizarre. There was no communication in between. I could not get a hold of my lawyer. The court appointed, that was Leilani Adams, court appointed. She never showed up. She didn't show up to the CPS stuff, anything. This is a child trafficking ring. They are using Virginia Beach courts to do it and make a lot of money doing it. Okay? During that whole thing, it lasted probably, let's say, April to October-ish. It was like March. Everything's so crazy. I know it ended in October. So much was happening that my months, it's been a lot. Sometimes the months run together. But that whole time, I was never 100% made aware of what the issue was. But I know that drug use never once came up, as it never would. There were a lot of people accusing me of a lot of things, but they never accused me of that, probably because they could just test me and find out that those people were lying. And those people knew that, so they never went there. Okay. That was never a thing. I did everything that was asked of me. I did 100% everything that was asked of me. I provided everything that was asked of me. I was the one doing all the follow-ups. You can look at the website, which of course I'm going to put in the description. I have evidence there. I have emails. You see it. Read the homepage. See the whole thing. Drugs was never a thing. Until the very last hearing, and it was 5 to 15 minutes before. Not even before. It was during the same conversation that I was tricked, lied to, and heavily coerced under extreme duress to sign these papers by Leilani Adams, that I was informed that I was also now being told that I needed drug abuse counseling. I'm a drug abuse counselor. But the reasoning for this was because Tuesday, not even close to a Dr. Smith, because she's not a doctor, and I've said this in a couple videos, didn't know, because she doesn't have that kind of medical training, did not know that ADHD medication stimulants were used often, almost always, to treat narcolepsy, which I've had for a long time. Narcolepsy, hypersomnia, and fibromyalgia. I've had all of those things for quite some time now. And I do have to take those medications to be able to sit here and talk to you like this, because sometimes my brain just falls asleep, and I have warning. It's not like people see. It's not. First of all, there's different types of narcolepsy, and not a lot of people know that. What happens to me is not like what you see like in the movies where someone's just talking to you and falls out. I have a good 30 minutes, sometimes even an hour, where my body warns me, and my brain warns me. It's like, hey, you need to sit down. You're getting heavy. Your legs are heavy. You need to sit down. You need to sit down. You need to lay down. Your eyelids are getting heavy. And if I don't do that, if I don't find a way to lay down, it will just stop. I'll just collapse. My body will be like, okay, time's up. You had enough warning. It has been a journey to figure all of that out. But I'm very proud of myself that I've been able to come through so many years of that, and all of this on top of it, and more currently. Anyways, so because Tuesday, not a Dr. Smith, did not know, I guess, that stimulants were used to treat narcolepsy, even though I told her that I was prescribed Adderall for narcolepsy. She put in my parental capacity agreement. This is how she put that I've got to pull that thing out and just go over it on a video, that I needed drug abuse counseling for taking psychotropic medications for non-psychotropic reasons. Now keep in mind, these are medications that have been prescribed to me by multiple different specialists over a series of like 8 years. This is why psychologists can't prescribe medications. Anyways, to get back to what I was saying originally, this was moving the goalpost. I had met every criteria that they had asked of me, and they just didn't want to hear it. I had asked even if Jonathan Brown would come over and look at the house. He didn't want to, wasn't interested. They created this narrative, and then not only cherry picked, but fabricated a whole bunch of stuff to make it seem real on court documents. This is the court. This is the judicial system that you're paying with your tax dollars. We the people. It's not we the people right now. It's being run. And once again, I'm going to say it again, that judge did not know. She would have no way of knowing. So she would, a judge is a human being too. And that's only one person, and there were about 8 different people in that courtroom. You can't expect one person to know all the lies of those 8 people when they're all covering for each other. That is an unrealistic expectation to have of any human being, judge or not. She didn't know. She wouldn't have known. So that's what I mean. A way that Leilani Adams used to coerce me was by, in this moment of my intense emotions, because my baby's lives are on the line. Everything, that's my life force. They're mothers. Anyways, so within the same conversation of her telling me that I'm now needing to take medications from some lady that I only spoke to for like 30 minutes, maybe, I don't know, it was like 30 minutes an hour. Like our conversation wasn't exactly fluid, so it's difficult to tell. And once again, you have to think, I am in an emotionally raw state at this point because my entire life has turned upside down. Overnight, I lost my home. all of my pets pretty much except my dogs and my snake. I've never seen them again. I was living in my pickup truck because Janet Naderman did not tell the whole story when she did my annulment hearing, and I thought that a 10-year annulment sounded so crazy. I don't even know how worried about it I was because it sounds so crazy to me, but I wouldn't have been able to afford an attorney anyways. And Joshua made that pop that had been going on for quite some time. He had financially abandoned that marriage and me and those kids quite some time before any of this happened. And I was just sitting there trying to smile through it, figuring it out the whole time while he was out entertaining his new girlfriend. And we're going to talk about that in a video today too. So that's how she used this course me. She also lied when I asked her specifically. I said, why don't you just take my pee, take my nails, take my hair, test me? And her response was that it wouldn't matter because I'm prescribed that medication. I was tricked. I don't have a lot of experience with the court system. And one of the really big flaws, and I want to incorporate this into Mona's laws when I can get that off the ground in our judicial system, is that when you are in a court situation, and that's like the only people who are so privy to all of those ongoings are attorneys and paralegals or chronic criminals. You'd be surprised how much I learned when I was living in my pickup truck from criminals that knew more than me about how the courts worked. And we need to fix this in our public school systems because our children deserve their rights. So, Leilani Adams used the psychological tactic of moving the goalpost in my intense emotions in the same conversation where she basically told me my only choice was to sign over my kids. And that was not true. I should have fought that. But she made it seem like I couldn't. I had no representation. You were nothing to me. You helped my child be trafficked to her abuser. You're a mother too. So, these are important lessons that I want to make public so it doesn't happen to you. I'm not the type of person who's like, oh, this happened to me, I went through this, so other people need to feel it too. No. I'm a human being and you're a human being. If I go through something and I figure it out and something horrific happens to me and I survive that and get out of it, I'm going to come back and I'm going to tell you exactly how I got there. And I'm going to tell you exactly how I figured my way out. Because I owe that duty to my fellow humans. It's not about money. It's not about color. It's not about status. It's about being a human being. So, we're going to go over a lot of these psychological tactics that were used, especially when I start talking about parental alienation. We're going to talk about it a lot. As always, thank you for watching my videos. I appreciate every single one of you. I appreciate your eyeballs. I appreciate your minds. I appreciate your prayers. I appreciate your thoughts. Life is not easy, and life is not fair. It never has been, and it never will be. Not for any human being before us, nor for any that will come after. We need to stick together, and I believe that. And if I know things that could hurt you, even if I don't like you that much, I'm probably going to tell you about them and warn you so that you can know, like, hey, human to human, watch out, right? Thank you guys all for watching. And I'll put the website in the description.